Hey everybody, welcome back to Wiki Sports. This is at the buzzer, and I'm joined as always by Ryan Flynn. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, Brian. No, I'm doing all right, as well as can be.
Understandable. And Jack Tiernan. Jack, how are you doing?
I think I'll echo Ryan's sentiments, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, uh, the morning, well, not the morning, the afternoon after, as if we get up early enough to record in the morning here. Absolutely not. Um, no, the afternoon after the Celtics lost game 7 to the Miami Heat, we got to watch Jimmy Butler win the Larry Bird Award in Boston. We got to just watch the Celtics fall apart. And, we're here. There's going to be a little bit of therapy. There's going to be a little bit of breaking down the game and a little bit of looking forward to the next season. So, Ryan, I'll start with you.
hmm
What happened in this game? Why did the Celtics look so flat in a must win game after winning the previous three?
Well, the first thing that happened was right. Tatum clearly got hurt. Um, they looked pretty good before that. I'm not saying that would have continued. Everyone else kind of fell off as well, but right, Tatum got hurt. Uh, Me and Jack were just talking about it. I think I said this last time, when the Celtics lock in defensively, everything else kind of figures itself out. I feel that's when they're at their best. They didn't lock in defensively, and they were also missing a ton of threes. I also think another big thing is with Tatum hurt, a lot of the running of the offense fell to Jalen and Smart, and not to their discredit, both can struggle at times with turnovers. What did Jalen had 8 turnovers? I'm not saying
Yeah.
that was the primary reason, but I mean, it was tough. Um, so yeah, just I think you combine all of that together, and the fact that Caleb Martin probably looked that game. What did he probably looked like the second best wing player? So like
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, and Jimmy had his 28 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jack, to kind of piggyback off what Ryan was saying, do you think JB kind of forced stuff that he wasn't necessarily comfortable with, kind of like tried to be like the hero in place of Tatum with Tatum's injury? And do you think that kind of led to his? I mean, it was just a bad performance. Let's not like beat around the bush. It was not good.
No,
Yeah.
it was not good. He had 8 turnovers. He was our leading scorer with 19, 10 of which came in the first quarter. Um, I mean, he looked bad yesterday, and I don't think you can completely discredit him. I think that was kind of the same mentality Tatum has, if I'm being honest with you, right? There is that takeover mentality. You're in this point in a basketball game where you're fighting for your life at this point, and Tatum can take over and does that stuff. Um, and to me, what this did is this solidified that Tatum is a 1A and Jalen Brown is a 1B. So if anything else, I think that was okay. Like he's trying to do things, um, but it's just not happening, right? Like I don't think you can say he's folding under pressure because I don't think he would say that. I think he was ready for the moment. It's just as a matter of like he's trying to do too much, and because he's trying to do too much, it puts everybody else in a weird place.
Well, and
Um,
I was gonna just cut in and say, like, and I feel like a part of it was just when you look at Jalen, like I've said, he last year matched up pretty badly against the Heat because
he
they
did.
just know how to apply pressure to him, and when he drives the ball, force him to turn it over, and they know how to exploit his dribbling. So I feel like he was probably already flustered by that. And I felt like yesterday I saw like his first shot was great, right? The
Yeah,
second shot he took, I was like, I don't know that he should have taken that, but it went in. You're like, all right, it was a tough shot. Then after that, it's just kind of, you just really started to notice. I did again, like, wow, Jalen Brown has tunnel vision. When he gets the ball a lot, he just is not looking around him. It's just, it needs to go in. I need to get it in the basket. And you really see the lack of playmaking there. And again, I think he's developed as a playmaker. I'm not necessarily faulting him immensely for that. I think it's just when you look at how flustered he was, right? It just kind of forced him into bad habits, right? Like, and we've seen the same thing with Tatum before, taking contested shots, when stuff like that. But for sure, I mean, what obviously Tatum just has a higher ceiling, but the biggest thing that
yeah,
differentiates them right now is it's just the playmaking.
Yep.
ability, right? Like Tatum just is a lot more comfortable dribbling the ball. Um,
Yeah.
and he's just got better court vision, is a better passer.
You could
But
have even
that's
stopped Ryan at dribbling the ball, and I would have agreed with you. And I
yeah.
hate to. I know Jalen gets a lot of like crap for that, and in reality, he is good at it at times. But like when it comes to a head, it's like, oh, this is bad. Like how many times did he dribble the ball off his foot last night?
And again, I remember this happening last year
Yeah,
when we played the Heat, and
deja vu.
I heard people were and again, people are really giving him a hard time. Um, I
It's
still
recency bias, you know.
I
It
still
really
think
is.
I still think you got to say the good outweighs the bad with Jalen, and it was a tough loss. And I heard his interview after, and like people are giving him some flack for that, but like, come on, like the dude literally just had one of the worst performances of his life. They threw everything on him, and if you
Yeah,
he sounds he doesn't know what to say.
yeah, and I think he handled it well. He's
No,
very good.
he handled it very well. He was clearly distraught. I honestly was like,
Yeah,
man, this is kind of messed up.
Yeah. So I guess conversely, what did the Heat really do to like? Because Jimmy Butler wasn't a dominating force in this game, especially, and really not in the series. Granted, he did win the you know Larry Bird Eastern Conference Finals Award MVP, but what are the Heat doing to really like? I guess win this game defensively and offensively, Jack. If you want to take that one.
yeah. I think the answer is I don't want to just say Caleb Martin as a cop out, but like at the same time, now we know
Yeah.
exactly how the Milwaukee Bucks felt when we had a Grant Williams game last year. This is
That's a
kind
good
of like
point.
very similar. Like, who is this guy? Like, where did he come from, and why is he just absolutely annihilating us right now? He was hitting every shot. I mean, it really was crazy to watch. For me, I think Miami probably. I mean, they felt they were like way more connected on offense. I don't think the fact that Duncan Robinson is just like has become this like crazy like cutting dude who can just run in the basket and get all of these feeds from people when our team is sleeping on defense, which felt like it happened a lot.
Last
Is
night,
yeah, last night especially, I should say. It was like okay, like they executed better is what it came down to, right?
oh yeah.
We had it was I think we had the second worst shooting night of our entire season and our worst scoring performance of the entire season last night. So like, of course they're gonna win. Frankly, to be honest with you, like that's what it comes down to. It's a game of averages. If we don't have good averages, there's no shot we're doing anything, and that's what it came down to.
Yeah. So I guess moving forward, Ryan, what did the Celtics do here? Jack and I think it was Jack and I did a segment a week or so ago, like should the Celtics blow it up before they won three straight. I don't know if we feel as dramatic as maybe we did when it was 3-0, but still I'm sure we're still plenty dramatic here. But do they keep the coach? Do they actually trade Jalen Brown? I know, as I mentioned, Celtics fans are also very dramatic, and a lot of Jalen Brown needs to get traded immediately talk
Mhm.
on Twitter and Reddit. What are your thoughts on the direction for the Celtics?
So I mean, my thoughts are in terms of the base, right? With I just feel like with Tatum, and then again, it's tough right now, but I think you kind of need to pay Brown the money, right? Because if you don't, someone else probably will. And I just think right for there's only two teams I've been able to think of that would have enough to trade for him and be willing to, and it would be like Toronto and Portland. And when I play those scenarios in my head, I just don't think you're getting enough back. I think the amount of money you're going to have to pay him, it does make it tough. But I think I would just continue to build around those two again. And everything's relative. They're what 25 and 26. But I think the question to me is more, what do you want to do around that? And like we were saying earlier, I think you need a more established like point guard to, especially for situations like last night. I think they just need to make a choice, set someone at point guard. Then it's kind of just tinkering around. That would be
Yeah.
my thought.
Jack, do you kind of agree that point guard is the big need for the Celtics here?
I think this might be one of the first times Ryan and I disagree, and I don't disagree, to be honest. If I had to focus on
No,
an
that's good.
area,
That's good. Let's see.
right, an area of need right now, I don't know. In fact, the reason I'm struggling with this is because we have had success with Smart in the past, and I think what I'm more concerned about in the future is during this series in particular, where did we run into the most shortcomings? And I think that was at our power forward position or our center position in that Al Horford spot. I think
Yeah.
we need I
Oh,
think we need
so
to figure out what we need to do as a succession plan and somebody who is good in that defensive spot, because when Al is off,
mhm.
he is almost unplayable. Like he's like sometimes he's a traffic cone. If we can read him or the opposing team can read him on defense, they're just Euro stepping around him and they're putting it up there, no problem. He offensively, if he doesn't have his 3-point shot, I don't want to say he's useless, but he doesn't fit into the offensive profile this team needs. It's for me, that's where I'm like, if I needed to pick between the two, I think we could live with, and maybe that's because I feel like we can live with Brogdon at point, right? If we have him start, maybe that's why I feel like that's okay.
that
But
was my idea, honestly. That's all
yeah,
I'm saying. I was saying they just need to I just think it's tough, but I would just set Brogdon at offensive point guard. That would be my thought. And I mean, in terms of the Al thing, the idea was right. Gallinari would fill the role
should have filled
offensively.
that.
He
Right.
would. I still think he can. But defensively, it's even a downgrade. So
Definitely.
a huge
Definitely
downgrade,
downgrade.
honestly, still.
Yeah.
So that's, I would say, honestly, you want probably, like I said, I would move Brogdon to point, and then from there, I honestly feel like you'd be best off if you can get like a 3-4 guy and a 4-5 guy, right? Because if
I
Rob's
agree.
healthy, you can slot them wherever. It's also not, I'd kind of feel more comfortable if Sam Hauser wasn't Jason Tatum's backup.
Same.
As much as, he's good shooter, good volume shooter, but
I agree with that for reference too. We need something in that position. My ideal scenario, and I know this isn't going to happen. If this does, this is a miracle. But my ideal scenario is we find some way to sign and trade OG Anunoby. He's
that's a tall ask with
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
pretty much
I
impossible
know.
with Brown and Tatum.
I know that will not happen.
That would be
Like,
impossible with the two of them. Yeah.
we'd have to figure out something, right? Like someone would have to be gone. Brown would have to play the two, and we probably have to trade one of our trio of point guards, and I don't like that. So that's what it comes down to. And I don't, but like that, like as a dream lineup from like a defensive 3-and-D wing, like OG I'd kill for that, But that doesn't fix our center problem. So I just completely ignored both of what we wanted to do, Ryan, and just said let's do this instead. But
And it's notable what we're saying. Brogdon is a score first point guard, right?
Yeah.
And that is the dynamic, is you have two score first wings. So
you need
but I mean, but I think Brogdon has the flexibility, and he's shown the maturity where I think he can do it. But yeah, OG, and I'm trying to think of good 3-4 spot guys you could get for not OG and
not
OB
OG
prices.
Yeah.
They would 100% ask for Smart, I would think.
Yeah, Smart. I would throw in Pritchard at this point because he's.
Would you trade Smart for OG and Anunoby?
I think I would. I would.
For the fit, it's tough. Yeah.
For the fit, and I think because we have Brogdon and White, and honestly, Pritchard as your third option at the point is fine. Granted, if he needs to be involved in that trade for whatever reason, sure, so be it. I mean, I think I probably would trade Smart, which is maybe this is my toxic brain thinking about that right now because of where we're at in our off season. But I would trade Smart.
Yeah, it's just tough. Another good Jeremy Grant.
I would love Jeremy Grant. I wanted him when he was on Detroit, honestly, because there was that trade deadline coming up.
He's lower value, right? Than
definitely.
But I mean, his productivity is really good.
He's efficient. Yeah.
But again, I would I feel like it's coming down to when we're talking about rebuilding, and it has nothing to do with those three players, but it's you probably just, right, because you're kind of, I don't want to say stuck with Jalen, because I don't, right, I've been a big defender of Jalen, but then I feel like I'm saying, but you are kind of right to a degree. You are almost stuck with him right. That's kind of the way it is. You got to eat his contract, and
pretty much.
Right, and also he's a guy. You have two wings. They can both slot. Like if you really needed, Tatum could probably play a shooting guard. Not that he would,
100%.
but he could, right? They're very versatile. Brown has played shooting guard a lot. So then you got three guys, and when you have that shooting guard spot, only Brogdon is a point guard, really, to me. The other two are combo guards.
They are combo, yes.
Neither of them are, and even like we said, Brogdon's a score first point guard, so he's an incredible shooter, so he can also play shooting guard.
Yeah,
which is so it's tricky. So it's just the three of them. Honestly, the one I'm probably least inclined to give away, I would be least inclined, and this is just my personal opinion, right? Just Derek White. Right now, I just think he's really invaluable.
I agree.
I mean, he was at points the only one giving us anything last night. So.
But Smart has also been really incredible at times.
Good too. Yeah.
And he's just like, again, he is kind of the heart. It would be really hard to imagine Marcus Smart not in a Celtics uniform.
I agree. Yeah. I completely agree. But I also like right now, my fandom of Derek White has just grown significantly since we acquired him last year.
Yeah. You know? Our jersey pact for buying a jersey for the show. I was going to buy a white jersey.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it. What?
I keep looking over here because I have my D White jersey just sitting on my bed.
Because you did Derek White and I did, Williams.
Yeah.
Do you trade Rob? That's another thing because he can't stay healthy.
If that's part of getting a bigger piece at center, I think you have to, and I think you have to live with it, frankly. I think maybe then you draft a big, right, and just hope that he can slot in some minutes behind him. Luke Cornett was fine, but that's not somebody I want. I would rather have Al get those minutes than Luke,
Mm-hmm.
Which is a far cry from my full circle. My conversations at the earlier part of the season where we were talking about Luke Cornett being a starting big and being totally fine with it. Because no, I'm not anymore. We've seen that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I only have one more question for you guys, and it's prediction on the NBA Finals. Ryan, who do you think wins? How many games?
Nuggets, five games. It could
go
to 6. I think it's going to go 5. I think
a gentleman's sweep in the finals.
I just think the Heat are going to be very tired, and right, you saw those 3 games. They were able to do that because the Celtics have so many peaks and valleys, and I mean the Nuggets are just so consistent, and I mean I just feel like the way the Celtics kind of all of their faults, the young coach, like Spoelstra could kind of just splice and dice their strategies, right? But like Jokic can literally just pivot that team at,
I am very much looking forward to Jokic versus Bam because I think it could be bad for the Heat. We'll see, but yeah.
I mean, did you see Jokic on AD and LeBron?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it didn't work out well for the Lakers at all. But that's actually such a good point, Ryan. I feel like the Celtics and Heat are each other's complete worst enemies, not only on the court, but 2020, the Celtics and Heat played each other really hard. The Heat were done in that NBA Finals, against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Last year, Celtics and Heat played each other super hard. The Celtics were done, against the Warriors. They just beat the shit out of each other, and then the Western Conference team gets to, gets the spoils of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Nuggets have gotten a ton of rest, and I mean, Murray's been on fire, and also just I don't know if not to just continue the Jokic praise, but I feel like to continue because he's pretty awesome. But I just feel like it doesn't he doesn't really need to warm up after I just feel like he's pretty unaffected. He's just gonna go in there, and from what I've seen in this playoffs, he's just far and away the best player in the league to me right now.
Hey man, Jack and I long established this is a pro Jokic podcast. Like we like him a lot, and looking forward to seeing him potentially win a ring. Jack, on that note, what's your prediction?
As soon as Ryan said Nuggets in, and with the confidence that he said it with, I was like, he's going to say Nuggets in 6, and I thought I was doomed. So I'm going to say Nuggets in 6 because I think if I know Adam Silver, he's not going to let it go only 5 games. I hope it's 5 games. I hope it's
It's probably going to be 6.
Mhm.
I do think it's going to be 6, but I do think the Nuggets have the potential to do it in 5.
I do too. I completely do too. I think they have the potential to do it in 4. Honestly, I don't think it'll happen, but like at the same time, this Heat team is gassed.
What's
like
the longest? I think they've had 1 game 6 so far.
Yeah, and
against the Suns in that game 6,
yeah.
and that game 6 was just like it
not
wasn't
even close. Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, they took the Lakers out, no problem, right? So now they've had so much time to rest, so much time to get right. That's good for guys like Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, those more physical guys, right? Like that's for me, I think that's going to be not the difference maker, but it's going to really like show you that there's a gap between these two teams.
Mhm.
And again, Gordon, right? Aaron Gordon, I'd imagine his assignment is just going to be guard Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right. Or do whatever, right? Because you have guys like that are going to do those assignments. They can do those assignments just well, right? And then, yeah, you just kind of let their offense create the rest.
100%. And you could do that with Jamal and Jokic facilitating. So, yep, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like there's a lot of like negativity around this matchup, just because it could have been Celtics, Lakers, whatever. I think it's going to be a fun matchup.
It's a really good matchup. I will say, because it is. I mean, the Heat are playing good basketball, right? They have a great coach. They've got a bunch of great. They've got a Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy's obviously great. Bam's great. They have a bunch of great role players. I mean, I just think talent-wise, the Nuggets are outmatching them. That was a little overzealous. I still think the 5. I'll stand by. But
yeah,
it's going to be
fun.
it's going to be really good. Here's the thing: is you could argue, the Celtics would have a chance if they played well to beat them. However, we all know as fans they did not show that they could do that consistently against a team like the Nuggets, right? So realistically, I hate to say it, the Heat are probably going to put up a better fight because, the Celtics, like as we just said, the Celtics are just so inconsistent. And the Nuggets.
I don't see how the Celtics were ever going to stop Jokic. To be honest,
no, they didn't have it. No.
Al, Rob,
not a prayer. So
Jokic
is better.
You can't really. Here's the thing: like, what are you saying when you stop Jokic? Because if you're stopping Jokic from scoring, he's probably doing what he actually wants to do, which is getting right. He doesn't care about scoring. He just wants to get every. Right. He wants to get the offense running. He's the engine. So I mean that's the thing. You can't really stop him because he just does so much.
So should be fun. Can't wait to talk about it more. But as for that, Ryan, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, of course, thanks, bro.
And Jack, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, bro.
It's been a fun season, guys. It sucks that it ended, but it's been a good time talking with you guys. So
absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be back, of course, to cover the finals, probably do at least 1, maybe 2, depending on how long it goes. And then a long off season, unfortunately. Well, not really. NBA doesn't have that long of an off season compared to the fucking NFL. It's like off forever.
It's pretty short,
But other than that, check out the blog, of course. Ryan, anything you want to plug?
Check out the blog, and then if you're into basketball cards or just basketball in general, check out Dunk AF on Instagram.
Awesome. Check that. And Jack, anything you want to promote?
Sure. Best place to find me is on Twitter, and that's @Jack_Tiernan. You can follow me there for all of my NBA Finals stuff and all of my NHL stuff. Or NHL, what the heck? Sorry. NFL stuff that comes up. I don't think I've watched a game of hockey in 3 years at this point. So.
I like Chris here. You say that.
Chris will come to my house, and he knows where I live.
Oh man! So go follow Jack there. You follow me on Twitter @theFakeBMar. That's BMARR. Like I said, blog. I got a new one. Where's DeAndre Hopkins going to sign? I put out a few potentials, although I think there's one clear. You can read the blog; it's out there, and search Read Sports on pretty much all social media. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one.